We live in a society that values material things. Cars, huge houses, brand-name clothes. These are the status symbols that chase us. But does true happiness reside in these material goods? The incessant pursuit of having more can lead us away from what really matters, building a strong and virtuous character. Social pressure and media influence bombard us with consumer messages. It's easy to get lost in this cycle, seeking external validation through material goods, but true fulfillment comes from within, from who we are as people. Philosophers like Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic, emphasized the importance of self-mastery and virtue. For the Stoics, virtue was the supreme good. Wealth, fame, and power were considered indifferent because they did not contribute to true happiness. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions. We should cultivate virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. It is from these virtues that we find inner peace and meaning in our lives. Learning from the Stoics helps us change our perspective. We stop being slaves to material desire and start seeking true freedom, inner freedom. History is full of examples of people who achieved great material success, but found little meaning in their possessions, never feeling satisfied. In contrast, we find inspiring figures who prioritized the development of their character. Nelson Mandela, even after years of imprisonment, emerged as a compassionate leader, dedicated to serving others, and found joy and purpose in his mission. These examples show us that true wealth lies in the strength of character, in kindness and compassion. These values allow us to build a meaningful legacy and leave the world a better place. Life is undeniably challenging. We are faced with situations beyond our control, from global events to daily frustrations like traffic jams. These uncontrollable elements can leave us feeling powerless, frustrated, and anxious. But what if we said there is a way to navigate these turbulent waters? What if you could learn to focus your energy on the things you can really change, turning the cause into a source of strength and resilience? The great philosopher Marcus Aurelius wisely advised us to ignore things beyond our sphere of influence. This may seem like passive acceptance, but it is far from it. It's about recognizing the futility of fighting the uncontrollable and instead choosing to focus on what we can directly influence, our own thoughts, reactions, and actions. In traffic, you can't magically clear the road ahead, but you can choose how to react to the situation. You can let frustration consume you, or you can choose calmness, using the time to reflect, listen to a podcast, or simply practice mindful breathing. By focusing on your inner state, you regain your power and transform a negative experience into something manageable. Anger is often seen as a negative force, something to be suppressed and avoided. But when channeled correctly, anger can be a powerful motivator for positive change. It signals that something is wrong, that a boundary has been crossed, or that an injustice has occurred. Instead of letting anger escalate and control you, recognize it, understand its source, and then transform it into a catalyst for action. Use that energy to address the root cause of your anger, whether by advocating for a cause you believe in, starting a creative project that expresses your frustration, or channeling it into physical activity. In this way, you transmute a destructive emotion into a force for good, both for yourself and for the world around you. Remember, the world will always be full of uncontrollable elements. That's a given. But by concentrating your energy on what you can control, your inner world, you can face any storm. Embrace the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, choose your response, and transform negative emotions into a source of strength and creativity. This is the path to resilience, to inner peace, and ultimately to a meaningful life. Have you ever found yourself seeking the approval of others? It's normal. We all want to be appreciated. But what if I told you that true happiness lies within you? It's time to free yourself from the need for external validation and embrace the freedom to be yourself. Imagine you're in a restaurant, but instead of savoring the food, you're more concerned about taking the perfect picture for Instagram. How many likes will you get? Will people think you're cool? This constant search for approval can be exhausting and actually distances you from true happiness. The reality is that authentic happiness resides in who you are, not in what others think of you. Stop seeking external validation and start nurturing your own happiness. Social media, with its likes and comments, can become a real trap. It's easy to fall into the snare of comparing your life with the filtered version that people show online. Suddenly, you feel inadequate, envious, and unhappy. Dating apps can also fuel this search for external validation. You worry about every match, every message, seeking approval and affection. But true connection arises when you are yourself, not when you seek validation from others. Other people's opinions are just that, their opinions. They should not dictate your self-esteem or happiness. Freeing yourself from the need for external approval is liberating. Start by accepting yourself as you are, with your qualities and imperfections. Embrace your individuality. When you accept yourself, you become more confident. You don't need others' approval to feel good about yourself. This confidence radiates and attracts people who appreciate you for who you are. Imagine the freedom of living according to your own values without worrying about what others think. That is true happiness. The pursuit of happiness ends when you realize that it resides in you. Embrace your individuality, cultivate self-acceptance, and free yourself from the need for external approval. Social media, dating apps, others' opinions, all lose their power when you stand firm in who you are. Authentic happiness flourishes when you free yourself from others' expectations and focus on being the best version of yourself. Live according to your values, pursue your dreams, and celebrate your uniqueness. Happiness awaits you. Just allow yourself to feel it.